everybody out there listening, and welcome to the A&A NBA podcast. This is a podcast about NBA and the news around the Eastern Conference and Western Conference. My name's AJ.
And my name's Andy.
And this is
A&A NBA.
Alright, what's up, guys? It's the second week of the NBA, or at least how we're doing it.
Yeah.
But so far, holy crap, this was supposed to be one of the greatest seasons ever because of the whole entire crazy offseasons, which we all know about, all the crazy trades that went on. However, so far, there's been a total of 75 injuries in the NBA right now, according to the NBA's injury report. They range from ankle injuries all the way to broken faces at Nikola Mirotic.
Yeah.
Holy crap, that was crazy, though.
I still say the worst one of the season is still Gordon Hayward.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's going to have a pretty speedy recovery and could make it back by maybe the Eastern Conference Finals. It just depends on what the Celtics want to do, if they want to save for the future or burn him out now while he may still not be healthy and potentially get him injured again.
Mm-hmm. And so, he's obviously out with a left ankle fracture, and that's really what kicked off all these injuries. Next one is Jeremy Lin had a knee injury, which was pretty intense. And then Michael Beasley also had one. And then, obviously, Kawhi still has one, which is really big. And another thing about the Spurs, holy crap, they're doing good without Kawhi. They're 4-0 already.
I know, it's crazy how good they always do. They have no stars on that team.
Mm-hmm.
They have...
LaMarcus Aldridge.
Yeah, but Kawhi's the superstar of that team.
Yeah.
But they still got Tony Parker and Mount Ginobili, who are, almost in a group home.
Yeah.
They're super old.
An old home, you mean?
Oh, yeah, old home.
Yeah.
But they still find a way to get it done.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know how deep they're going to be in the playoffs.
Exactly. And then there's also... Okay, I wanted to talk about this. So all these injuries have been happening. And one of the biggest ones to me, I think, is Derrick Rose. Because holy crap, I was figuring that... Because me and AJ both thought that it was a possibility that Derrick Rose could get injured.
Yeah, and he got injured the first week of the season.
Yeah, and it sucks because they were doing good. The Cavs were doing good. And then what happens? They lose D-Rose. They lose to the Magic. Then they lose to the Nets. They lost to the Nets last night.
Without D'Angelo Russell.
Yeah, they literally didn't even have their best player, and they still lost to... And then their best player was probably Timothy Mozgov and Spencer Dinwiddie. And LeBron... Alright, LeBron was balling, though. He had a triple-double, which was monster, but everybody else was kind of slacking besides, Kyle Korver with his 22 points. I don't know what the heck's going to go on with the Cavs, but they really need to start working at it.
Yeah, they've been hit by injuries a lot because Isaiah Thomas...
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know really why they signed him, knowing that he would be out till January, maybe even February. And then D-Rose got hurt. You couldn't really see that coming. Mm-hmm. Now they're on to Jose Calderon as their... He's not starting, but...
It's like LeBron, yeah.
He's their backup, but he's... I'm not saying he should be starting, but, he's the one pure point guard on that team.
Yeah, the only one that... And he's obviously trash right now, because he's not as good, as he used to be. But anyways, back to these injuries. Also, Chris Paul has his knee injury. He's actually said to be back by mid-November, so I don't... It seems like the Rockets are still doing pretty good without him. But of course, we don't really know what will happen with him. And then there's Milos Teodosic, which was also a very, helpful part to the Clippers. So we'll see how the Clippers perform without him. And then there was Jonas Valanciunas that had an ankle injury. And then Dennis Schroeder, a very young player for the Hawks, and he was supposed to be really good.
He's the number one player.
Yeah. And they were he was supposed to lead that team to
not playoff spot, but
to be he's supposed to lead that team, And then there's Dwayne Wade, actually. I just figured this out yesterday, and he has a bruised left knee. So right now, there's so many injuries with the Cavs right now, and AJ was telling me at the beginning of the season that they were going to be injury prone. And I kind of figured that, but I didn't think it was going to be this bad.
They're all really old. That's been 2 injuries since the beginning of the season for them, and 3 in total. And plus, LeBron was hurt at the beginning of the season. Mm-hmm. But
he fought out of that.
Yeah. I don't think he was really hurt anyway, because he's put up, I think, at least 2 triple-doubles, might be 3.
Yeah.
But we're going to see what happens with all the injuries. None of them are too severe, but they should all be coming back within the next month or so.
Except for, Isaiah Thomas, obviously.
Yeah.
Which should be back by mid-January, probably beginning of January. Mm-hmm. But then there is also Nikola Mirotic, which he has an effed up face. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, he
Got punched in the face by his own teammate. It's pretty sad. And the Bulls are supposed to be like the worst team in the NBA, and that Nikola Mirotic is supposed to be like their best player. And clearly it's not working out that well. And then also, what do you think about the Markelle Fultz injury? What do you think? Do you think he's going to be a draft bust, or do you think... Because he had a shoulder injury, and they drained fluid out of his arm, but he can hardly even move up his arm, so he can't even shoot, but he still wants to play, and he has a really good attitude towards it, but obviously he can't play if he can't even move his arm up, and that's his shooting arm.
I would have chose Lonzo over Markelle Fultz personally, because just seeing him in college, his team won 9 games.
Yeah.
Like, you could say he's good and all, but his team won 9 games. Like, how good even if your team's crap, like, you should at least will yourself to an NCAA tournament spot. But I would just choose Lonzo. I would have chosen Jason Tatum over him.
Yeah.
And he's not performing too well for the 76ers.
Yeah, to be honest. Ben Simmons is crazy, though. He just had his first triple-double, and he had his first triple-double in the Detroit Pistons, Little Caesars Arena, he just made history there with his first triple-double in that arena, which was pretty crazy. What do you think about Ben Simmons?
Yeah, he's been probably the best player on the team. Joel Embiid was talking some crap about Andre Drummond, and Andre Drummond said, "I'll see you." I think it's November 2nd or December 2nd.
Yeah.
So that'll be a very good matchup that I want to watch.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. Those guys have been performing really well.
Yeah.
And then, all right, so there's all those injuries, which are really crazy, and it really sucks because I really was looking forward to this season, hoping that everybody would perform as best they could. But how are they supposed to perform when there's so many injuries? Like when they're injured. So I really hope just everybody gets healthy and it all just goes out well. But also another thing that we haven't seen is, hopefully I don't jinx it, but Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid have not been injured, so that's pretty good.
That's my theory.
Yeah, there's a theory about that.
Why there's so many injuries in the league is because Joel Embiid hasn't got hurt or Ben Simmons. So I think
it's like the basketball god saying, these 500 players have to be injured so that these two don't. Yeah. I don't know. It's crazy. And now moving on. Eric Bledsoe asking for a trade. He said, "I don't want to be here on Twitter."
But no one knows really what he meant by that, because he said he was in a hair salon with his wife, and I don't know what to believe because I was watching this show and they said something about they knew that they did some investigation and they think it was just because he was at a hair salon, not because of the trade. So I'm
That's stupid.
But
they literally came out with other things saying that he wasn't even allowed to show up to practice, and obviously something went wrong with him and the manager. So clearly, and they said that he's done playing for the Suns.
Yeah.
So clearly it had some truth to it.
But who wants to play for the Suns anyway? There's probably some, even if he was in the barbershop or the hair salon, he probably meant it subconsciously, just like, oh, I don't want to be here in Phoenix.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a whole crazy situation.
But she's too good for Phoenix. Same with Devin Booker. I just hate to see talent wasted.
Yeah.
Like that.
It's very sad.
But who knows if they can rebuild something there. Not Bledsoe, of course, because he's
not there. He's not going to be there. Oh, and speaking about that, where do you think he's going to end up?
I don't know. I've heard New York and many other places, but they've said something about the Pistons maybe trading Reggie Jackson, and I'm not sure about that. But I
would like that.
Yeah.
For the Pistons.
I think that maybe he will go maybe to Milwaukee, and I think their point guard's Chris Middleton. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. But I think they would trade. I saw a thing where they said they would trade Thon Maker and Matthew Dellavedova. So. I don't really know what's gonna go on there. That might be the best fit for him. I've seen 10 or 12 places where he go, but realistically, there's probably only like 4 or 3 that are viable options for him to go to.
Yeah, I don't know about that whole situation, but it's honestly crazy that, like, if it was true about the whole Twitter situation, the idea of him saying that is really kind of sad. Like, I mean, you've been playing there for a while, and that's like so much disrespect to his team, and it's really sad.
At least he speaks his mind, though.
Yeah, I guess that's true. But I mean, if he didn't want to be there, I feel like he should have just told management. and I made a whole big deal about it.
Yeah.
Next up, we got Thunder compatibility. How do you think the Thunder are performing this year?
They started out hot against New York, and then it's kind of slowed down a bit. I believe they're 2-2.
Yeah.
Let me check the record.
Yeah, and that was a really crazy thing about the Carmelo Anthony, his game winner.
Yeah.
And then 4 seconds later, Andrew Wiggins hits the actual game winner. So, I mean, it does kind of suck for the Thunder. I don't know if they're going to get back into it. I hope that they can really, start to actually become more of a team. They've been actually doing really well. Russell Westbrook's almost still, averaging a triple-double right now, which is insane. But, obviously less on the points.
I mean, now he's easy for assists now because he can pass to 2 options, and Steven Adams sometimes, but not as much as the other 2.
Yeah.
And so I think he can maintain close to that. And because who else, Russell averages triple-double with 30 points. Who was scoring those 60, 70 more points that were going? They're all going to Paul George
or
and
Carmelo
Melo.
Anthony. Yeah.
So I still think he can average a triple-double easily.
But what do you think he'll average for points?
Maybe 25.
I think it's going to be around 23.5. I think that he's got so many scorers on that team that how he possibly score up to 25, 26 points,
We'll give Russell 25, Melo 25, Paul George 25.
I feel like Paul George will actually average around 26, 27.
Yeah.
Just because he's more of a scorer than a playmaker like Russ.
And you can give the rest of the team 25 points.
Yeah.
And I can see that easily.
Mm-hmm. What do you think Melo's going to average? I think he'll average 21.5.
19, 20.
Really?
He's
He's part of the 20 points club, though. You don't think he's going to try and get above 20?
He could try, but I just...
You can't see it?
Well, I can't see it, but I don't know. It depends if the chemistry's working out and stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
Because the title is their compatibility. If they're working well together, they'll all average over 20, maybe even 25. But if they're not, I think someone's got to drop off. Someone's going to go under 20, I believe that's it.
Yeah, I can see that, actually, yeah. Another thing is, do you think they'll still... Do you think they're as good? Do you think they're living up to expectations so far? I mean, I know it's only been
Season's
4
young,
games.
so...
Yeah.
The first game, they came out blazing.
Yeah, they came out strong in that first game against the Knicks.
I say yes, because I think half the people are like, oh my gosh, this is the greatest team ever. They got so many scores.
Yeah, they just need some time to build.
Yeah.
Some people
And
are saying.
half the people were like, oh, there's only one ball on the court. So I think to some people, they lived up to expectations. And to some other people, they're 500. So that's as average as you can get.
And they also, they could have been, they could have won that game.
Would beat the Timberwolves.
Yeah. Oh, another thing about the Timberwolves. What's up with them, man? They just lost by 20 points to the Pistons, which is awesome, but for us. But what do you think about them? How do you think they were playing?
Their record is 2-3.
Mm-hmm.
They lost to the Pistons, and they lost to the Spurs as well. So they've lost to playoff teams. I think they also need time to adjust. Jimmy Buckets is only averaging about 8 points, I think, maybe 8 to 10.
And also he's ill, so that really hurts their team. So
I thought they were gonna be maybe a 4 seed. I thought they were gonna be over the Spurs.
yeah, Spurs, man. I mean, we already talked about that. But
I just don't know how they do it every year.
yeah, I think Greg Popovich just pulls it out of his sleeve every year and just throws magic at them. Which also the Magic are doing good, but that's another situation. All right. A very controversial situation. How do you think Lonzo Ball is doing?
Perfectly fine.
Really?
I'm a Lonzo fan. I love Lonzo. Last night, I believe he put up 6 points, 8 rebounds, and 10 assists. Which, we live in a basketball world where scoring is everything. And it should be, because how are you going to win a game?
Yeah.
Scoring.
Scoring.
But I think just people need to look at what he does. They're 2-2. They beat the Wizards, they were undefeated until yesterday. So